Let's calm down. It's first period here on a Tuesday. All right, here we go. Let me put up the bell ringer for you. Hawaii. Cool. Has anybody ever been to Hawaii? No. Oh, no. It'd be awesome if it did. Be really cool. Yeah, similar. Very similar. Yeah.
It's like the Glen, but like in a bigger scale.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Here we go. Describe why Hawaii was interested, or why America was interested in taking Hawaii. Why was Hawaii an asset to the United States? Why did the United States want Hawaii? It's a little island out in the middle of the ocean. What the heck? Why do we want that island? Here we go. I'll give you 2 minutes or so. 3 maybe. How about that? Push to 3. I got you. 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. What movie's that from? Chris! Yes! Oh my gosh! Dang! Spider-Man. That's awesome. You know who says that line?
Yeah, the WWE guy.
Yep. What's his name?
Oh man, the under.
Nope.
Take.
Nope.
Is he actually a WWE guy?
Yeah, not him. WWF back in the day. Then he was a WCW guy. His name's Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
You should have been in the movie.
I should have been. Now I was probably 7 years old at the time. So,
really?
yeah. Yeah, I was young.
Oh, you're older.
No way, man.
He's 40.
Dang, jeez. Just because his hairline shows it doesn't mean I'm actually that old. Man, it's foggy out. It's those wildfires out in California. I'm joking. That's not nice. Chris, that made my day already. Tuesday's not so bad.
I knew it.
Home saw McGraw.
Yeah, I always watch those movies.
Oh.
Not your favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's up there. I like it. I like William Dafoe as the Green Goblin. It's pretty cool.
He's a good Joker.
The Joker.
He'd make a good Joker.
They're saying he was going to be, but Jack Nicholson beat him out.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
He's the best.
What's that?
You think he's the best?
Yeah, I love Jack Nicholson.
Tobey Maguire? Heath Ledger.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man. Yeah, I like that one. That's my favorite too.
Heath Ledger's best.
I like Jack Nicholson Joker. Did you ever see the 1989 Batman movie? Oh, okay.
Jack Nicholson's just a beast.
He is. Great actor. Christian Bale. Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
We need more time. Kevin? Kevin? You done? Still working? I'll give you 1 more minute, all right? 1 more minute. Colin, you guys done? Chase? Fellas, you done? Yeah, quiet down, please. Might be Tuesday.
Watch your mask down.
Please.
Watch your plastic mask down.
Oh,
I saw that.
yeah.
I think you got away with it.
When I'm trying to drink something, I'm always like,
So like filled up with
it should, like Iron Man. Just goes up. That would be cool. Just sitting in here in class with an Iron Man mask on. That'd be awesome. Oh, Brewster finally got to play a Thor yesterday. He's my favorite character on there. It's awesome. Throwing the hammer around.
Still got playlist.
Huh?
Still got playlist.
Oh, no, I need to get it. Just been real busy. Grad classes and doing you know what stuff. It's all over the place. It's crazy. All right, here we go. Go. What? Describe why America was interested in taking Hawaii. So why was the United States there in the first place? What did they say to their people? Why they were there? Angel, go ahead. Yeah, Christianity, right? Spread Christianity, manifest destiny. The United States is going there to try to spread Christianity. That's our goal, right? That's what we're telling all our people. We just want to try to make sure that these indigenous people, these uncivilized people, have a way of life and a culture that can maybe propel them in the future. And they need God, right? They need God. They can't act as heathens their whole life. That's terrible to say, but that's what they said. That's what they're trying to describe to the American people to influence them that, you know what, this is a good idea. Going way out here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean for an island. Why? Christianity, right? But realistically, why were we there? Why were we there? Colin, go ahead. Sugarcane, yep, good job. So try to monopolize sugar, and especially when we talk about the Spanish-American War. Briefly today, we'll talk about the cause, okay, and how the United States is trying to monopolize the sugar industry and these resources for sugar so that they can sell it in the European market, the international market, and make a huge profit off of it. Okay, remember monopolies. So if you have sole ownership of an item, a raw material, okay, if no one can compete with you, you can set the price to whatever you want. Okay, whatever you want. All right, so why was Hawaii an asset to the United States? Why else? Yeah. Shh, you didn't raise your hand. Oh, no. Angel, go ahead. Spy on them. Okay, what can they establish there in Hawaii then? Yeah, military base, good job. So this is really a stepping stone, right? Okay, so once we get to Hawaii, Midway Islands is right around, obviously, midway between Asia and the United States, okay? Midway Islands, which we acquired with Matthew Perry, right, and his adventure out to Japan. And then the Philippines, Guam, okay? So they're like stepping stones to the Asian countries. You guys see how that works? I know we talked about it a lot, okay? So they're going island to island to island, Asian countries, grab resources, establish trade, send it back to the United States, make a huge profit off of it. Okay, so Hawaii is an asset because of sugar, right? Awesome, sugar. Establish our sphere of influence out in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, military base. We can expand out into these Asian countries to set up trade and sell these items, these resources to the European countries. And the only way to get there, right, especially for these European countries, yeah, they could go all the way around Africa and head over. Okay, yeah, they could go through the Mediterranean Sea, through the Suez Canal, but Great Britain controls that. All the European countries hate Great Britain. It's like we don't want to continue to pay them money. That's ridiculous. Or they could just sail all the way down around South America and come through. No, that sounds like a crappy plan. How about let's just cut right through here to Panama. The United States controls Panama, which we'll talk about here soon. So they're going to be paying up the United States a lot if they want to travel through the Western Hemisphere. Okay, you see how the U.S. is establishing themselves in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah. They're really the superior power in that part of the world. Is there any questions on that? What was the military base called that the United States established in Hawaii? Jays. Pearl Harbor. Yeah, 1 for 1. Nice. Good job. Starting the day off good. All right, yeah, Pearl Harbor. Okay. And which we'll talk about with Teddy Roosevelt. He's seeing a lot of increasing tensions with Japan. Ooh, Japan. Okay, Japan just won that war against Russia. Now they're putting their big boots on. Now they think they can expand out into these other European or these other Asian countries, territories, and expand out in the Pacific Ocean. Sooner or later, the sphere of influences are going to collide, right? Okay, sooner or later. So we already see that build up in the early 1900s, these tensions between Japan and the United States. And it's amazing how quick Japan has advanced since the 1850s when Matthew Perry made his gunboat diplomacy. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, any questions? Good? All right, vocab. 3 terms. Remember, our quiz. You know what? We might have our quiz. Yeah, we'll plan tomorrow yet. We'll plan tomorrow. I was thinking about moving it back to Thursday, but we'll see. I should. Well, you know what? I might have to.
Told you that yesterday.
What's that?
So I told you that yesterday. You didn't believe me.
You're right.
Yeah, that's a hump day.
Hump day. It's my favorite day to have a test or a quiz. Getting over the hump, right? Getting over the hump. Okay, here we go. Great White Fleet, 4-Acre Act, and the Platt Amendment. There we go. There we go. This Great White Fleet is interesting here. I have a short video, but I don't know if we'll get to it. We'll see. Maybe I'll show it tomorrow. How about that? How about that? Okay, I'll give you a couple minutes. Not 3 minutes. Just a couple
How
minutes.
many is a couple?
2.
I thought a couple was 3.
Couple is 2.
How many people are in a couple?
Yeah. I don't want to know with you, man. Jeez, what is?
A couple for me is like 6.
Stop that.
Boy.
Dang. Not good, Colin. Not good.
That would be fun.
I will check the bell ringers on Friday then. Just come around and check them for you. All righty. Great White Fleet. Man, sounds pretty cool. Sharks coming around with laser beams on their head, right? And Austin Powers again. I've been quoting a lot of Austin Powers lately. Angel, go ahead. Yeah, good job. So the Great White Fleet, okay, Teddy Roosevelt thought, you know what, let's show the world what we got. Okay, it's important that the United States has a strong Navy, right? Okay, and at the time of the turn of the century in the 1900s, what was the rank of the United States Navy? Remember? Chase? Third. Yeah, good job. 2 for 2 now. Nice. Nice. And he's batting 1,000 again. Okay, good. So yeah, so they're a third, and the United States could do that because of industrialization, right? So they decided, let's just paint the bows, okay, around the bottom of the boats white, so that everybody can see it alongside the water. Okay, if we just kept it dark, okay, not everybody will see how massive these ships are. So they painted it white, and they made it made it really nice looking, and they showed the cannons, artillery, you name it, all in these boats, these 16 naval ships. And they sailed all around the world. Okay, all around the world. They stopped on 6 continents. Crazy. Crazy. Just went and just showed everybody in the world what the United States has. So they started here in Virginia, Norfolk. Okay, they sailed all the way over here. Okay, stopped in parts of Africa, went up to Europe, went through the Mediterranean Sea, through the Red Sea, okay, the Suez Canal. Guess who controls that? Great Britain. So they had to pay Great Britain to do this, but hey, it is what it is. So they traveled 43,000 miles all the way back, okay, down around South America to Norfolk. You think it was worth it? Heck yeah, man. Why not? I want to show the world what we have, the power the United States has. Huh?
Wasted a lot of money.
Heck yeah, it wastes a lot of money, but who cares? Who cares? U.S. is going to be one of the strongest powers in the world. We need to show the world.
How long did that trip take?
That's a good question. I don't know. Want to look it up? Yeah, cool. So the Great White Fleet, 16 battleships, 1907. They painted them white just to make sure it popped when they were sailing across the world. 43,000 miles, and they traveled just to show American imperialism, American power. Okay, they showed the world what we have, and a lot of it was because increased tensions with Japan. All right, they wanted to show Japan's like, hey, back down a little bit. You know, make sure you guys can see where you're at here. Okay, if you want to try to start a war with us, you're gonna really face the brutality of all these battleships. Look at the cannons on them. Look at the artillery. It's crazy. Good luck. All right, 4-Acre Act. 4-Acre Act. What do we got? Brewster, go ahead, man.
There's an act that established
Go ahead, say it again. I didn't hear you.
there was an act that established the German government.
Yeah, good job. Good job. So after the Spanish-American War, we claimed Puerto Rico, right? That small island territory right here, okay, in the Caribbean Sea. We claimed it from Spain. And we decided, you know what, because Spain had a harsh rule there, we're going to allow them to have their own citizenship, decide what government they want. Do you think the United States had a lot of influence in that area yet? Yeah, they did. They did. Okay. Yeah, they did. They extracted resources like sugar, okay, setting up these plantations and inspiring some industrialization, not too much. But main goal is to extract resources like sugar, okay? And they're setting up some military bases there, not too much. Puerto Rico is still a territory of the United States today. Many people are still fighting, like, you know what, it should be a state. It has a large population, okay, a lot larger than some states in the United States. Okay, we'll see if it actually becomes one. Probably not, but who knows, right? Who knows? Okay, but the 4-Acre Act still established the United States influence in that area of Puerto Rico, but they're allowed to have their own way of governing their own people. Okay, it makes sense, right? Why can't they have and elect their own public officials that live there? Why does the U.S. have to send people there to establish a governing body? Platt Amendment. Platt Amendment. This goes along well with the 4-Acre Act. What's the Platt Amendment? What do we got here? What do we got? Ethan, go ahead. You don't have this one? I'm sorry about that. Alyssa, you have this one? Yeah, good job. So with the Platt Amendment, at the end of the Spanish-American War, the U.S. recognized how bad Spain was to the people of Cuba. Okay, they wanted to make sure that they can ease off a little bit. They don't want to be too intervening in their lifestyle and their culture. Okay, so they decided you're going to allow you guys to govern yourselves as well, but we're still going to make a lot of money off of you. Okay, we're going to still try to extract all the resources, force your people to work at very low wages. Okay, and we're going to show our dominance there with military bases like Guantanamo Bay. Has ever heard of Guantanamo Bay? Yeah, Harold and Kumar were there, weren't they? I just kidding, the movie. But anyway, the Platt Amendment, okay, giving the Cuban people the independence that they need to govern themselves. Okay, the United States still has a heavy influence in that area, though, with military bases, establishments, okay, and extracting resources, of course, like sugar. Yeah, like sugar. Is there any questions on that? All right. I got a short political cartoon to show you. Don't worry, you don't have to do anything with it. Just look at it. We'll talk about it real quick. I think this one's a good one. All right, so I'll let you guys look over it for how about a minute. You can talk with a partner and decide what's going on here. You decide what's going on. Make sure you take note. In the very back here, let's zoom in. Oh, what's on top of here? What does it say there? Okay, what does it look like over here? What about over here? Okay, yeah, there you go. Talk with a partner, decide what that political cartoon is stating. All right, let's go over it. Let's go over it. Who would like to give their explanation of this political cartoon? 100. Okay, annexation of Hawaii. Good. All right. And we have, I guess you could call him Uncle Sam, but it's supposed to represent a Republican Party at the time. You can tell because there's an elephant, right? An elephant up on top here of the Capitol building, the Senate. Okay, and how the United States is expanding their influence throughout the Western Hemisphere, specifically Cuba, right, at the right side of the political cartoon, in the Caribbean Sea, right underneath Florida, and then Hawaii, okay, out in the Pacific Ocean. So the United States is really claiming its sphere of influence, okay? It's really expanding its control throughout this area, these areas, and we'll see that with the Spanish-American War, with Cuba more. Okay, is there any questions on that? I thought it was a good political cartoon expressing the sugar, okay, how it's a valuable resource for the United States, and how especially the Republican Party, remember, right after Reconstruction, the Republican Party kind of controlled politics for a long period of time, right, all the way up until World War I, which we'll talk about with Woodrow Wilson here shortly. So it's just showing the monopolization of sugar and how the United States is using this as a valuable resource to trade in the European and world market. Okay, moving on. Spanish-American War. Okay, so why was the Spanish-American War important? Why do you think? Why was the Spanish-American War important? I know I mentioned this before. I know I did. Why was this Spanish-American War important? Colin, go ahead, man.
We gained world power.
Yeah, the United States becomes a world power. That's one big one, right? Good. What else? Why else? I know I talked about this piece of paper a lot. This doctrine. Yeah, the Monroe Doctrine, right? And what was that doing again? Pretty? Yeah, get these European countries out of the Western Hemisphere. Good job. So Spain, like I said, controlled Cuba, Puerto Rico, all right, especially at the Philippines, Guam, okay? And the United States wants to control the whole Western Hemisphere. They want to have that rid of the European countries. Get those European countries out of our part of the world. And we talked about it with the purchase of Alaska, right? and how the United States got rid of Russia out of the Western Hemisphere by that purchase. So you can see the United States controlling the Western Hemisphere solely themselves. They're the only superpower in this part of the world. Hey, that's nice, right? That's nice. We don't have to worry about any type of European conflict or being drugged into a world war. Does that last that long now? No. It was a good idea, right? In thought, in theory. All right, so how it started. American-owned sugar plantations in Cuba. We know that. Okay, the U.S. wanted to try to monopolize this sugar resource, okay, and try to make sure that it can make a lot of money off of it. And Spain technically owned it. And with the Monroe Doctrine, we didn't like these European countries in the Western Hemisphere. We want to get rid of them. Okay, they can't be that close to our border. Let's face it, Cuba is only 90 miles away from the tip of Florida. That's not too far, right? You can make that trip probably in 3 hours with a modern boat now. It's crazy. All right, so Cubans wanted to be free from Spanish rule. So for 400 years, Spain had control in the Western Hemisphere, specifically Cuba, okay, Puerto Rico, just really the Caribbean islands, ever since Christopher Columbus. Man, how did he treat the people there in Cuba? Not very good, right? Not very good. To a point where he was killing many of them, raping the women and children. Ugh, not too good. But hey, it's a holiday. We get the day off on Monday because of it. Not good to say. But hey, it is what it is. All right. So Cubans wanted to be free from Spanish rule. Okay. So there's revolutions, revolts happening all throughout time for 400 years. The Cuban indigenous people trying to overthrow the Spanish rule in Cuba. It didn't really work out too well because Spain, let's face it, had a stronger military. They had a stronger presence there than what the Cuban indigenous people could have. Right? They needed the United States' help. Let's face it, it's really close. And the benefits for the United States to kicking Spain out of the Western Hemisphere and controlling sugar trade, okay, and eliminating a threat, right? They were all priorities for the U.S. And then finally, 3, the United States helped Cubans fight against the Spanish. We're going to show them who's boss, right? We're going to make sure that our world power, okay, we're going to step up as a world power, and we're going to show the world our military, our naval fleet. If we defeat Spain in a war, this will send a message to European countries not to mess with us, not to try to colonize any type of area or territory here in the Western Hemisphere. Right? We want to send a message. And with that Great White Fleet, that term, that expresses that, right? We're sending our Navy throughout the world and showing them what type of military power we have. You guys good with that? All right. So why the U.S. got involved? The biggest thing, make sure you remember it, the USS Maine blew up in 1898. The USS Maine blew up in 1898. Really, this seems like an easy way to start a war. And for the American people, they're convinced heavily throughout time, which we'll talk about more, with battleships blowing up. Who knows why or how, but it's a good start to a war, right? Spanish-American War starts because of a U.S. boat being blown up by a potential threat. World War I, we get involved because of a U.S. boat being blown up by a potential threat. Vietnam War, same thing. It's a good alibi, right? It's a good excuse. Oh, they attacked our battleship. Are you kidding me? We got to go to war now. Yeah. Heck yeah. And we'll have a bunch of writers with the yellow press, yellow journalism, express that in their articles to try to persuade U.S. citizens to say that this war is necessary. This is the enemy. That's just how it goes. All right, so this was a U.S. battleship in Cuba. Because of the hostility, the rebellions, the revolts that were happening on the island in Cuba, and let's face it, the United States wants to stick their nose in it, okay? They want to make sure that they can try to keep an influence there and extract resources and protect their assets of sugarcane, right? So they send battleships, the United States sends battleships down into Cuba, specifically Havana Harbor, right, which is their capital. And they're trying to threaten Spain. All right, let's face it, if you're Spain and you're sitting on your territory and you see all these battleships from the United States coming in and just sitting, docking up, right outside the harbor, what would you think? They're coming. Yeah, like what are they doing here? Why are they just sitting next door to us? Why are they sitting their boats right outside of the harbor? It makes no sense. And it's seen as a potential threat. So realistically, do you think the United States is asking for it? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. All right, so U.S. government thought Spain attacked the ship. Okay, so in 1898, the battleship mysteriously just blew up in February. Okay, it blew up in the harbor, and 266 American soldiers, sailors died. Okay, 266, that's an alarming number, isn't it? Yeah. And when we get to Lusitania, that's almost the same number, the start of World War One. Oh, this is getting a little fishy, don't you think? But we'll talk about that when we get to World War One. All right, so the U.S. government thought this was an attack by Spain. Why not? Yeah, we're the ones who have our battleships right outside the harbor. Why wouldn't they attack us? Yeah, this is just a great cause and a great start to this war. Okay, but 266 sailors died. Okay, Americans died, and this really pushed for the U.S. to maybe potentially start this war. This is a great headline, right? Newspapers and magazines to show to the American people that, hey, let's start this war. Let's follow this Monroe Doctrine. Let's extract resources and control the territory for ourselves. It makes a whole lot of sense, right? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So before, this is what the ship looked like. Oh, look at that battleship. Not too bad. A little different from what today we have with our modern forms of battleships and technology. But back in the early 1900s, that's pretty darn good. And then afterwards, oh, jeez. Man, it looks like Colin I'm in the wrestling room, right? Yeah, so this is what the battleship looked like. And if you see that picture in a newspaper article or in a magazine, as an American citizen, what do you think? Haley, what do you think? What, you just like, whatever. Oh, okay.
Disappointed.
Chris,
Disappointed.
yeah, you're pissed off, right? Yeah, I would be. It's like, are you kidding me? This is what Spain did to us? Why would they do that to our battleship? Why would they attack us? And that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so the American public, when they see a picture like this, when they see people writing this in a newspaper article or a magazine about the atrocities of 266 Americans died, okay, this attack on a naval ship by the Spain, it makes no sense. Why would they do this? Okay, it heats a lot of people to build an enemy and try to push this war even more. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit today. I want to show you a video, get you working on your assignment, of exactly why this war actually started. Right? How the USS Maine actually blew up. You'll find out and you'll be shocked. Maybe it wasn't actually an attack by Spain. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. All right. Actually, how about I let you work on the reading so you can get it done here before class ends, and you can have some time for yourself. Does that work? I'll show the video tomorrow. Will that work for you guys? I think it will.